I went ahead and brought up this video. I want us to go ahead and react to it. I wanted to talk about our thoughts after we watch the video, kind of what we think based off just on our experiences and our knowledge about women. But the title of the video is Men Want Housewife Duties from Women, but Don't Make Housewife Money. So I'm going to go and play this, and then we can go ahead and kind of talk about it after.
Well, men got to adjust our expectations to what we're capable of providing. And there's way too many men that want housewives, but you don't make housewife money.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's just what it boils down to.
Talk about it.
You cannot expect your woman to be giving you housewife type of energy and effort, but you don't make housewife money. You make 50-50 money. Mm-hmm. So that means that you got to get off your ass and help out with some of these tasks that a housewife would be able to do, because your woman is working the same amount of hours that you are. Now, if you are bringing to the table, just like Smooth said, you in Houston, you bringing in 250, 300, then your woman can be a housewife. Then you can expect those.
Baby could be at home with 2 kids right now. Two kids, 3 kids, boy. Hey, boy.
Right. But if you making 50,000,
come on,
and your wife working too, you can't expect your wife to be giving you housewife duties.
All right. So after hearing that, what's kind of your, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I would agree with that for the most part, right? It's like if you have a housewife or a stay-at-home mom, I think that's what you would expect. You'd expect her to do all the chores, right? And that would have to be the agreement you have with your spouse, your wife. But if you're having, you're both working 8 hours a day or whatever, it may be, I think it's reasonable to have the expectation that, hey, you got to do stuff and I got to do stuff. And it could be still that, I'm doing outside stuff, you're doing inside stuff. I think that'll just be deterministic on their relationship, really.
Okay. So as far as with this video, what I will go ahead and say is I would disagree with this. And this is the reason why. So the reason being is because for you to go ahead and have a housewife, right? What is really the definition of a housewife? How would you define a housewife?
Someone that's going to take care of the house, like clean it, do all that stuff. That's kind of like their job when you're away. You know what I mean? Maybe do laundry, stuff like that. Take care of the kids and if you decide homeschool, that could potentially be another thing. If you have kids.
So this goes into my question. One more question, and then I'll tell you, how this is, how I view this. So are you saying then that women should not do that automatically for their husband or for their serious relationship unless he makes a certain amount of money?
Not necessarily. I think it depends because, if if the wife's working 8 hours, you're working 8 hours. Now, I think it's reasonable to say, all right, well, I'm going to cook, you're going to sweep or whatever. I don't know, stuff like that.
So typically though, if you're a housewife, you don't have a job, right? Your job, right, like you said, is the house, right? So.
Yeah, but you had asked if it's not or do you think it's their job in general? Like even if she works, is that what you're asking?
No. So a definition of a housewife is, like you said, she takes care of the house. That's her job. Like she stays home with the kids. She does laundry. She does all this stuff, right? She doesn't work. She's a housewife. For her to be a housewife or to have those housewife duties, but as he was saying here, is that you need to make a certain amount of money in order to be that housewife or have those housewife duties, right? So with that being said, I mean, would you agree then that, hey, you need to make a certain amount of money in order for your wife in order to be a housewife?
No, I wouldn't say that necessarily. I think it's really dependent on lifestyle and what you do, right? So I know you asked for numbers. So I was like, I have a spreadsheet. So I'm like,
that's perfect. And I want to, sorry to interrupt you, but like, Perfect. So exactly. I want to go over that now. And that is my points out of all of it. So that's my opinion, is that really what it is that housewife duties, those are things that women should do, period. Like that's their role. That's their natural role, right? As far as with women, it's to cater to the men. It's something that like we've talked about before, right? Is that with this woman, she's not going to work. She's going to stay at home. That's completely fine. But there's certain things that your wife, your housewife would need to do in order to amplify you, to make things easier for you. Because the more that she can do that, guess what? Then you can have that open to make more money, maybe get another job, provide in other ways for you to amplify you. It really is dependent on lifestyle. So nowadays, yeah, if you want to, let's just say, have the newest car every year, you know what I mean? Or if you want to go out and eat so many times per month, you know, that's all going to add to it. So if you want to live a certain lifestyle, yes, at that point in time, you need to be making a certain amount of money if you want that, basically, right? And that's all depending on the woman, on what man she chooses. So they go pretty much to kind of like the extreme of like 500,000 to 250,000. But the example that I will give is because like the average person right now in the US, if I'm correct, is $50,000. They make $50,000 a year. Okay. $50,000 a year, I can tell you, will get you a place, whether it's a house, an apartment. It will put food in your fridge. It will help you out with, of course, utilities, light, water, all those things. A couple with a stay-at-home wife can live off of $50,000 a year. But what I will go and tell you is that you're probably not going to be going on vacation every 6 months. You're probably not going to have the newest car. You know what I mean? You're probably not going to be living in the most luxury house. You know what I mean? There's certain things that you're not going to have. Now, that's not saying that you will never get that. You know, you could probably start off with that and the man will go ahead and provide more, right? Because with the man, if the woman picks the right man, it's something that we talked about before, is that if he has a plan, if he has ambition to make money, he will go ahead and do that. So the $50,000 will be just somewhere like where he's starting out at. But let's just say for this exercise that he's not going to. He's going to make $50,000 for the rest of his life. They can still live off of that. They can still provide those things and she can still stay at home. But is that truly what she wants? You know, because that's really what it goes down to, because I really believe that men don't really give a fuck like what they drive, what they wear, you know what I mean? Different things like that. The ones that do care are the women, you know what I mean? And that really kind of stems back to like where you stand in society and different things like that. So of course, the more money you make, the more things you can have. Better house, better this and that. And then, you know, this isn't including children, right? So if you have a child, then everything changes. And I actually have something here that I'll share with you. But so far as, I mean, what I said, I mean, what do you kind of think?
If you have the women work, is it not reasonable to think house chores are 50-50? Because I think that's what you mentioned too as well. Like if you're not making it and she's working, is that a reasonable request that you also would have to do chores as a man, or like, you know, help upkeep the house?
If she is working or is not working?
If she is working.
Oh, if she is working, to be completely honest, yeah, I truly believe that, you know what, those are duties that she still would do. I mean, like, that's just the request of like a man. Like, those are areas that she feels those are her roles. Not saying that the man does not do anything. Like, there's things that men do, you know what I mean? And things that I believe that men really should do in the trade-off for their women. Like, for instance, they're gonna be the ones that takes out the trash. Right. They're the ones that are going to take the bins to the end of the yard, right? If you have that or whatever. They're going to be the ones that are going to go fill up her car at night. You know what I mean? When there's nobody else, you know, or make sure her car's washed. Like there's different duties, but the duties that we were talking about here, and we can go into other duties as well, but the duties that we were talking about here is going to be if she's going to do the cooking, the cleaning, the washing of the clothes, those are the women's role. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what do you think?
I think it's not unreasonable to think if, you know, if she's working, you're working, that like, I mean, there's things that for my relationship, right? There's things that majority of the time the wife does it. There's things sometimes I do it. I would say there's a lot of things she does a lot, right? Barbecuing, obviously, like I'll barbecue, cook outside, whatever, stuff like that. She'll usually cook stuff on the inside. Um, I think it's not unreasonable to be like, all right, well, sweep, help out here and there, whatever, you know, inside stuff, cleaning, you know.
So let me ask you, who does majority of the roles though, as far as cooking, cleaning, washing clothes, all that?
Usually my wife does a lot of the cooking, and it's too part of the reasons like she gets home before me, so I'm like, all right, I'm on my way home, and then she'll like start cooking or whatever. And I think like cleaning, she probably does the majority, but I probably help. I don't know, maybe like 60-40, 70-30 ish. You know, like I'll clean more than I cook probably, like during the week, stuff like that.
So let me ask you, how would it be or how would it go? Let's say that you got home and there wasn't food, or you got home and the house wasn't clean.
So like, I'll put it this way, like the she's off for the summer, right? So like my expectations change in the summer. Like obviously she's not working. Like that's the other thing is like I tell my wife too. Like the expectations would change if you didn't work. You know, I would expect there. You know, you're here all like when she's here in the summer. Like it doesn't take much. Like just clean, tidy up. You know what I mean? Put the stuff away, whatever. Uh, then like I call her, tell her like, yeah, I'm heading home. So like this will like she'll usually start cooking. So I would definitely to see, you know, the expectations would be different versus stay home wife versus like you know, because she's there probably like it just really depends on if I work late or not. But like probably she'll get home 30 minutes to an hour before I leave work. So
So with that being said, right, with the summary, and I know you kind of answered this, but I just want to reiterate and clarify. So then if she didn't work or if you know, had a woman that didn't work, then like you said, expectations would change. She would definitely take certain roles, like either 100% or more than what she does now.
yeah, I would say that.
What roles would you say?
Cleaning, cooking, clothes, folding the clothes, stuff like that. The house chores basically, right? So that's kind of like in the summer. In the summer when she's off, I'm like, don't forget to do all this. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's just a little different.
And let me ask you, why those specific roles?
Mhm. Those are all the stuff on the inside. Those are like she's not gonna do like cut the grass or anything, right? That's my jobs, right? So I'll do all those things, take trash out, do yard work, whatever it may be. So those are the her things she would do: cooking, dishes, tidying up, sweeping, all that stuff.
So would you say that it's because it's more of those are like her gender roles? Those are more of like the women's roles. Women tend to do these things better than men do, just like men do certain things, certain roles better than women do. Like you said, yard work, taking out the trash, different things like that.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, and the people that are gonna get upset about this, you know, there's like, if you think about it, people that get upset about these things, but these are always instilled from us since we're kids. Like if you look at like play stuff, like kids' toys, and this is natural. Like the little girls, they want the little kitchenette sets. They want those like little things, you know, easy bake oven when we were kids, you know, stuff like that. the kids want those boys, they'll get those freaking like little lawnmower things. You know what I mean? Or they'll get those like off-roading little Jeep things. You know what I mean? Like those are kind of like instilled from since we're little.
Exactly. No, I completely agree with you. And that's why I'm saying, like, that's why, as far as with this, if you're a housewife, you're a housewife. It doesn't matter how much the guy is making, right? It doesn't matter as far as if he's making more money, less money, anything like that. 50,000, 200,000, like housewife duties are housewife duties, period, right? And I don't think that it's wrong for like a man to go ahead and request that, for your husband to go ahead and request that. Especially if you're going to be at home. Like if you're at home and you're not completing these housewife duties, then what are you doing? Like, what are you seriously doing? What, scrolling on your phone all day, calling this person, gossiping, whatever, you know what I mean? I love that one video from Family Guy, and it's like Peter with his long ass nails, and he's like, oh, I got 10 people on hold, but I could talk, right?
Scanian, Weinstock, and Reisman. Hey, LaRonda. No, I got 4 people on hold, but I can't talk.
Like, bruh, like that's just what it is with like women, right? Like, but making sure that you are upfront with this, right? So like you said, you've already spoken to your wife, your spouse, as far as, hey, you know what, if you stay home, then things are going to change. Like, this is what's going to happen. And that's very important, is making sure that you set those expectations with whoever you're with, whether it's a serious relationship or whether it's a spouse. Because if you don't set those expectations, well, guess what? How is she going to know to automatically do that nowadays? Because back in the day, right, it was automatic. Like, that was just automatic. Hey, you know what? The wife knew, hey, I got to do these things for my husband. I got to do these things for my spouse. And the man knew, the husband knew, I got to do these things to make sure that my family's taken care of. I got to make sure that I'm going to work every day, that I'm whatever, doing all this stuff. Because if not, then who's going to take care of my family? Like, no, that's my job. So there's roles on both sides, and I think that that's important. But the topic here that we're talking about, and from the video, is that you can't be asking for housewife duties if you don't make housewife money. And I think that that's just incorrect. And I think that that needs to be put out there. If she chose you, okay, and you're making $50,000 a year, okay, which is the average income, you can still afford an apartment, a house, you can still pay your utility, you can still do all these things. So I don't think that's true at all. And I don't want people and men to go ahead and follow this and think, oh no, well, I can't be asking her to do these things if I don't make this amount of money. Like, no, like it's going to ruin your relationship. Like, I personally think that it is. It really is, because then just straightforward, and a lot of people are probably going to give me slack for this too, then why do you have her? You know what I mean? What is it that she's providing then that another woman that, a new woman that you can see every 2 weeks can't provide?